this week. We got a guest. Young Jordan is here today.
So I need to turn her head.
What up, everybody?
Because I can hear that a little too much.
And
Jordan.
Continue, Shakis.
And I thought he had something else, and I cut him off. I felt bad.
I don't do like good monologues and promo type shits. I don't do none of that. My name is Jordan. I'm here to fuck shit up. What's good?
Obviously, we're not good with it either, but the scrubs are here.
We here, and we got shit to talk about today. We got some shit to talk about today. Our first topic is Death Note, by Adam Wingard, the American adaptation.
That's a thing.
Yes, that was a thing, and he deleted his Twitter after people harassed him and made death threats because people really don't fuck with the adaptation for good reason, but death threats are not okay.
See, that's my thing when it comes to shit like that. It's like, yeah, I understand the whole purpose of saying, like, you know, you don't fuck with this. You always want to talk against it and speak against things like that, especially when it comes to how they handle the Death Note situation. And anime adaptations in general, I keep saying that shit. Just please stop. Oh my fucking god. And I'm so tired of talking about this too, because of course, Shakis disagrees. I will continue to say stop doing that shit though. And I feel like a lot of people within the weeb community feel the same. Some like it, some don't, but you know, regardless, specifically when it comes to Twitter and shit like that, I want to know what he considered harassment, but I'm giving you a pass when it comes to like adding them and being like, yo, this shit is fucking trash. I'm not giving you a pass when you start making death threats at people who are like just making movies, I guess. I don't want to demean what he did or belittle the effects of whitewashing something like that, but at the same time, it's like, it's not to that level where you need to be making death threats at this nigga or his family.
I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion. When you start making death threats, it takes it to a whole nother level. Like,
just a little too much, bro. And by little, I mean a lot. Like, all should been death threats.
Niggas is riding hard for like y'all can be, bro. They want that.
Bruh, it ain't worth it.
That's my thing. I'm like, bro,
hard for like
my whole thing with the Death Note adaptation, and I knew this since I saw the trailer. The trailer was god awful. I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not spending my time on it. I'm not giving it any attention, any views, anything that would count towards a sale or like anything that could be interpreted as viewership of that film from Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't support it. I don't want to see it. I'm not gonna watch it. That's kind of my viewpoint for it. I don't go as far as adding people on Twitter. Maybe if I care a little more about it, I would. But I just kind of let it go. But even then, I can see why. But death threats is just way too fucking far. People do the most online.
People do the most online. It's not even like this adaptation was even worth making death threats over. It was just a bad movie. Like a really, really bad movie. It was a heap of fucking garbage.
And I think that speaks for itself. Like, I think people talking about it and having that conversation and the negative connotations from that movie, I think that says enough. Rather than just straight out making death threats towards the director. Like, that, I don't know, that's just a little too much for me.
It's way too much.
Calm down. And again, I say little, but I mean a lot. Like, you really calm down.
Like, oof. It's just, it's ridiculous. Like, we don't need to mob on this man. He's already seeing all of the negative press. It's enough. Like, the negative press is more than enough. I know not to watch anything else by Adam Wingard because of how poorly he directed this film.
Lord.
But, I mean, I'm not going to be like he needs to die because he ruined Death Note. The original Death Note is still there. The manga's still there. You can still watch the Japanese adaptation films. Those were good.
Good is a lenient word.
Lenient enough.
But
it's more for Death Note fans accurate. It's more accurate to the characters that you received.
I will agree to that for sure. What I will say about in comparison to these movies, it's like you see who did their homework From what I've heard, and I haven't seen it, so again, there's like take my opinions with a grain of salt. But I'm
They
sure
read a
Keith will
Wikipedia
correct me if I'm
page.
wrong.
They read a
Yeah,
Wikipedia
exactly.
page. That's it.
It seems like they did not do much research in it. They did not portray Light any way like he is in the actual manga or the anime. Shit like that is what really sets it apart. That makes Death Note special, rather than just being this guy who kills people.
Yeah. It makes me question if these guys even read the manga. Like, were y'all
No, I can tell you right now, they
I
didn't.
doubt it.
blatant?
They didn't.
Bro, you can at least watch the anime.
They could have watched it. They could have even read the wiki page and still came up with something a bit better.
Bruh, they probably only read the wiki page. They probably only read the wiki page, and poorly. They read it wrong.
But I'm telling you, it's
They
not,
didn't even look
it's
at the
not-
episode summaries. They just looked at the fucking plot and said, "Got it."
It ain't worth hexing a nigga over. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Hurry up and climb. I'm slipping.
I don't know what people get with those death threat shits. Like, I don't know. What are you accomplishing? You're not gonna kill him. You're never gonna be in the same location as him to actually kill him.
Exactly. It's just a way for people to vent. That shit is so stupid.
It's dumb.
It's unhealthy venting for sure.
It's definitely unhealthy.
Shit's uncalled for. And
Like
I feel
he
we got pretty much. Oh, go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say he even said himself, quote, film criticism is different than bitching at directors or filmmakers out on Twitter. Like, you can criticize the film, just there's ways to do it. There's ways to properly
See, and that's something.
criticize.
That's where I kind of get into this area of, nigga, would you really get death threats like that, or you just don't want to face criticism? Because like you can, what people consider criticism is like making blog posts or like some shit from BuzzFeed or something. Like, that's what I'm thinking of as far as the right way to criticize his movie, and the wrong way is sending a tweet. I can tell you your movie is trash in 140 characters or less.
Oh,
I don't need
indeed.
a blog post for that shit. So it's like, I'm still for bitching at the director. That's what you should do. I draw the line when you start making death threats toward the director, though. That's just a lot too much. Again, I keep
just
saying
can't
a little.
imagine being that like angry, bro. Like, you have to be pretty upset to just inbox someone and be like,
I will kill you.
I will kill you over Light Yagami, bro. Over Light Yagami.
Light Turner.
Oh my bad.
oh
I
man.
said Light Yagami because it seems like they're like standing to defend Light Yagami's
Honor.
character and honor.
His reputation
Yeah, like they're here to.
as a true sociopath. This nigga is just emotional.
Right. You learned that in your military training?
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't help. Part of me wants to quit as most said.
Yo, Nadine.
Because
Yo.
in reference to that one guy who said that he got beat up because people said that he had like a Nazi haircut, and it turns out that he like injured himself.
That he
And
lied.
I'm just like, yeah. So now with stuff like this, I'm just like, lurks.
I mean, if he was actually receiving death
Or are
threats,
you running away from those roasts?
it's possible someone documented them. I haven't looked into it that much because
I know he's seen the memes. I know he's seen those memes. There's no
he
way
has definitely
people
seen the
are
memes.
flaming this movie
See,
up in the
and this is why I was like, I question it. I feel like that nigga just mad at me. That's real, bro. You ain't get no death threats. Niggas was just memeing your ass, and you was just like, nope,
a lot of
not
memes
about to
do,
meet
like-
little me.
I mean,
Not about
the
to meet Lil
most
Ma.
like one I can actually picture happening is someone tweeting like, "I could write your name in the death note since you did such a bad job at it." That's one thing I could see someone actually writing, but aside from that, I can't really think of
It's like,
anything.
obviously, there's no. I don't know. I'm not gonna doubt. Okay, let me just say that because that death threats definitely happen on Twitter a lot, very easily, and it's something that shouldn't happen. But it just seems so like ridiculous that I just can't really see someone being like, "Yo, that Death Note movie made me so angry. I'm gonna fucking kill the director."
like you're actually gonna get close enough to this man to actually kill him. Like
I
you
don't know,
about
there
to
could
just
be
let me
those,
walk
like-
down to his house.
I mean,
There's
some
like
people
that,
will
though.
try.
Yeah,
Light Yagami stands.
Some people will try.
Didn't expect the Persians.
Yeah,
Bro, I'm telling you,
that's the
this
scary
week-
thing. That's the
Oh,
scary
God,
thing.
yeah.
Some people will actually try.
Or they just never thought they'd be defeated.
The weeb community.
Weeb community is trash.
Always has been, always will be.
Indeed.
But yeah, I feel like we're kind of walking in circles, talking in circles on this topic.
But we're done with Death Note and Adam Wingard. And we're on to J.J. Abrams and Star Wars Episode 9. J.J. Abrams is set to write and direct that film.
Oh, and before we go ahead and go into this next topic, sorry, I forgot the news, but Melly's Art just joined us. And Jod the God also? Question mark? I don't know if he's actually in yet, because he came in and left, so I don't know if he's here.
That young internet.
So we have a total of 3 guests with us today. Oh shit, hold on, shit's happening on Uncharted right now. You can go ahead and talk about J.J. Abrams.
But yes, he's set to co-write the final film of this trilogy with Chris Terrio or Terrio. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Lucasfilm said J.J. Abrams, who launched a new era of Star Wars with The Force Awakens in 2015, is returning to complete the sequel trilogy as writer and director of Star Wars Episode 9. He will co-write the film with Chris Terrio. Episode 9 will be produced by Kathleen Kennedy, Michelle Rejwan, Abrams, Bad Robot, and Lucasfilm. So yeah, of course I'm was looking forward to it already, but I'm still looking forward to it. So I just have to. I'm not really familiar with like.
And guess what? I'm still excited.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't. I'm doing this thing where I'm getting kind of used to certain directors and things like that, and I'm not sure as of now if I've seen anything directed by Abrams or written by Abrams. So I'm not familiar with anything yet.
Wait, hold on. I think you have. You probably have.
Most likely have. Yeah. Just I haven't paid attention to it until
the newest Star Wars movie with The Force Awakens. I'm pretty sure it's J.J. If I'm thinking of the same person, I might be tripping.
No,
he directed The Force Awakens, and he also did the reboot for the Star Wars, or not Star Trek series. Excuse me. So it's pretty funny that he's kind of playing both fields now. That used to be a big thing. It used to be like Marvel versus DC.
Bruh, like, the Trekkies versus the Wars, bruh.
Hey, bro.
Oof. iCarly did a whole parody episode on it. That shit was funny as hell, too.
Shout out to iCarly. Since AJ is not here, that's going to be our shout out of the stream.
Shout out to iCarly. Shout out to was it Dan Schneider? Dan Schneider?
Yeah, I think it is Dan Schneider.
If it's not Dan, his name is something else, but he's definitely Schneider. Shout out to you. I know you got some big award at the KCAs a couple of years ago. Was much too late and well deserved. Because he also did Drake and Josh, and that shit was lit as fuck. But we got a little off topic. Anyone else have anything to say about Star Wars and Abrams?
I don't really fuck with Star Wars.
Yo, y'all really ain't no Star Wars fans?
Like for real? Y'all don't give a fuck?
Like that, no.
I fuck with Star Wars. I got hyped with Mark Hamill at the end. Also, I'm mad as fuck that they killed off Han Solo by his bitch ass son. Fuck Kylo Ren.
I mean, let's be honest. Okay. One, I want to point out 2 things because I do really like Star Wars. One, I really fuck with J.J. Abrams and the way he did The Force Awakens, and I was kind of like, because they took him off of the second movie, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like he's doing 2 out of the 3 of the trilogy now, but he couldn't do all 3 of them. I don't know what happened, but it just seems kind of weird to me. And 2, Judd, how you gonna do that, bro? They had to kill Han Solo. Kylo Ren would have just been a bitch if they didn't kill Han Solo.
He's still a bitch.
That's what I was about to say. He's still a bitch. Like,
yo, all I'm saying is the dude that they got to play Kylo Ren looked like he hand sanitizes his hands everywhere he goes.
Bruh, you gonna have to stop.
Bruh, that's straight.
Oh,
that's
Adam Driver.
That's Lord of the Emo Boys right there.
Dude from Grandma's Boys? Yes, that's the dude from Grandma's Boys. Gotta be.
You can look it up. It might be, man.
Regardless, I think that. And I wanted to say something else about that scene too, because he got shot in the leg by Chewie's bow, his like crossbow thing. And I was saw someone they pointed out that every time every other time that he shot that fucking crossbow, niggas got fucking obliterated. But Kylo Ren tanked that shit on some like
The Force,
controlling the Force so I won't bleed out right now type of shit when he was fighting Rey and Finn. So he was already at a really weakened state. That's just a fun fact on that whole situation.
I mean, I feel you.
I look forward to like a non-Battlefront type of Star Wars game, like not the Force Awakens. No, the shit with Star Killer, Force Unleashed, Force Unleashed 2. That was a really cool game. I'd like another game like that.
A Jedi Academy or a Jedi Outcast game. I need another one.
I haven't played this.
Dude from the Star Wars game. He was in one of the Soul Calibur games, wasn't he?
What are you talking about, Yoda?
Yoda and Darth Vader were. Yoda and Darth Vader.
The dude.
I think his name was like The Apprentice or something. I don't remember.
That's fucking Star Killer.
Was he in? Was he in
Soul Calibur?
He was in Soul Calibur 4.
Oh
They
shit!
had different they had different characters depending on which game you got.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 2 was
it was like Yoda and
or
Darth
Link.
Vader.
I can't remember.
No, Soul Calibur 2 had Link. Soul Calibur 4 had Yoda and the
Darth
Apprentice.
Vader, depending on which one you. Oh, was it the Apprentice? I thought it was Darth Vader. Darth Vader is in one of them.
He's in the one with Yoda in it too.
That's what I was thinking because I remember it being
it's-
like whichever game you pick, like either the Xbox one or the PS3 one, like that chose which character you got, and then they later released the DLC.
So was
Yeah,
the
it's
Darth
like
Vader
Yoda-
in one with Yoda, and then the Apprentice was on the other?
No,
System
The
with
Apprentice
Yoda?
was on all of them, all of the platforms, and then Yoda and Darth were, according to
System exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That was cool. I never really fucked with Soul Calibur like that, but I do remember seeing the like commercials.
Yoda was broke.
Yeah, that dude was broke. Star Killer. He was broken. Definitely remember that.
Wasn't Yoda like too like low to hit?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, he
Yoda was broke as fuck.
He was broken, but he was also hard to hit.
So all he had to do was just jump up and just smack a nigga 2 times with that lightsaber. It was done.
I mean, it's Yoda. How do you put him in a game like that and him not be broke?
Man.
I think I have to put the shadows in a certain way for this this young puzzle that I'm at. This is a cool puzzle. But any other Star Wars? You know, can't really say Lucasfilm because that's Disney now. You know, it's not independent anymore. Really? Anything else? No. Okay, good. We're moving on to that young Okami. PS4, Xbox One, or is it just PS4?
Well, I thought it was multiplayer release. I can't
Thought
see
it was
them doing
thought it was multiplat. But it's coming December 12th, remastered. I haven't been able to play it before, but I've wanted to for years, so I think it's lit.
Good
I
shit.
might-
I'm glad that I get to actually finish it because I did not get to finish it for Wii. I really hope they add something with. I don't know. Do they even have the PlayStation motion controllers anymore for like PS4s? That's still a thing. They still trying to cash in on that.
I don't think so. I think it stopped with the 3.
I mean, it would have been pretty cool just to see because I feel like if you already had something like that, you could plug it up for the PS4 version, and it would have been really cool. But the drawing scenes were a lot better with motion controls. I feel like than in the actual game.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But yeah, I'm fucking hyped. I'm definitely copping December 12th
Instacop.
for sure.
The week before Christmas.
I wish they did some type of special case for it too, because that game is beautiful. The artwork for that game is top notch.
Mm-hmm. There's some
I
very
really hope they
unique
do a
gameplay.
steelbook too, because I
If they
really
did a
like the
steelbook,
art
I would be
style.
sold.
I have no idea. Oh shit, the shadows. Okay, I see what I'm supposed to do. I've been fucking up over here. But yeah, it looks pretty dope, and I am excited. We're all excited. Is anyone not excited?
You better be.
But if not, we can move on. Move on ever so slightly. An individual named Jason Schreier
Hey.
at Kotaku, who's been, he reports on all the good shit going on, all the bad shit going on in the gaming industry.
The gaming TMZ is what you meant to say.
Sorry, you right. My bad. The gaming TMZ or TMZ, and he has written a book that came out last week, actually literally a week ago, called Blood, Sweat, and Pixels, and it is about the making of certain games like Uncharted 4, Star Wars 1313, and more. Each chapter is the process, essentially, of each game that he has listed down. We have Stardew Valley, Diablo 3, Destiny, The Witcher 3, Halo Wars, Pillar of Eternity, Dragon Age, Inquisition, Shovel Knight, Uncharted 4, shout out to Naughty Gods, and Star Wars 1313 at the end.
Hey, shout out to that. I actually might pick that up. I'm kind of curious to see some of these other development stories, especially since someone who was on YouTube, Brooklyn Skilltree, he did a video about the Uncharted section, which is what I want to talk about today. Apparently, Amy Hennig, who played a major part in all the other Uncharted, and left the development team of Uncharted 4 midway through, and there was this like gray area where people didn't know if she got kicked out of Naughty Dog, if she got like fired or whatever, or if she quit, or whatever the situation may have, whatever may have happened between them, what was the reason for it and whatnot. And apparently in this book it goes into it a bit. I'm not sure if it goes into major detail, but what I got from the YouTube video was that they had creative differences and they started to push back on some of her ideas, and she was just like, fuck it, I'm just not going to work. Like,
bruh.
Bye. And I don't know how I feel about that. I really want to know more. But let me just tell you guys her regular idea, and then I can get you guys' opinion on it. Originally, and who all in here is beat Uncharted 4?
Me. You.
Same.
Judd. T Hill.
Alright. Four people. The Jordan, Melissa, if y'all don't want to be spoiled, then I don't know what to tell you because you're about to get spoiled.
Uncharted 4's story.
No,
Yeah,
I didn't. I only played the multiplayer.
Yeah, if you don't know the story, you're about to learn it.
Yeah, you about to learn something.
Essentially.
About it, at least.
Yeah.
Amy Hennig originally wanted Sam not to be Drake's brother. He was not supposed to be his brother. He was supposed to be a friend of his that Drake did shit with in the times, and they had like a solid relationship because Sam was jealous of Drake. So basically, Rafe in the story would have been Sam. That's how it was supposed to be originally. And then they were supposed to find out that they were brothers throughout the story of the game. Because the story of the game goes through the origins of his brother, his actual real life brother, and the history of their mom and what she did. So that part of their life was supposed to have been like they know each other pretty much, or knew that they were brothers.
That
And
could have been
Nadine was
interesting.
not in the process, was not in the game at all, pretty much with an Amy Hennig story. And also, the first 8 chapters of the game had no fighting in them. There was no combat. So you can see why, like, such a drastic change to the Uncharted games, where majority of the game really is about the action or just the sequences in between the actions with the characters. It not having that for 8 chapters, which, if I remember correctly, that's like a third of the game. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be something.
So what do y'all feel about that? How would you have preferred her original version or what we got? Is the question.
With her original version, up until the whole first 8 chapters of no combat, I would have been okay with that system. That seemed like it would have been a good alteration to the story. It wouldn't have been a bad alteration of the story at all, in my opinion. But that no combat thing is just not. That's not the wave. I would have been okay with some sort of not duality, but a mixing, a blending of those of the original idea and what we actually got.
That is a very fair point because that's what I was gonna say. I like the concept of Sam not being his actual brother, especially if you played the other Uncharted games. It doesn't really fit well with the history of it because they kind of go into the backstory of Nathan Drake in Uncharted 3 and his relationship with Sully, and he was already really young when he met Sully, so it was like, how did he have a brother and why was that never mentioned in any game or in his backstory? Or when Marlo interrogates him and she tries to use all of his personal information, like his actual real name and shit like that on him, they just kind of skipped his brother being mentioned in the files and shit like that. I don't know. It's a lot of questions, and he seems kind of like forced into the Uncharted story. But I don't know how I feel about 8 chapters of no gameplay. I guess I would need to know what they replaced it with. But I don't know. I just can't see me playing an Uncharted game 8 chapters through and not have shot at least one person.
Yeah.
Well,
how am I gonna get that headshot trophy?
Issue
Exactly.
that I had is where's Nadine in her thing? Nadine would have had to have somehow been incorporated into her story because Nadine's a really good character. And I don't know. I feel like I would have been missing out on something if I had played the game and she wasn't like introduced at all.
I kind of agree with that because I will say that Nadine was a better character than both Rafe and Sam, and any combination that I could foresee of the two being, mashed together. I can't see Rafe and Sam being mashed together and me thinking, yeah, this would be better than me having Nadine in the story.
Exactly. Nadine is not
Fraser? Ross?
I'm sorry, cutscene. Their banter is so good right now. Like, this game wouldn't exist if we'd gone with the original plan, 100%.
Where the hell's the
If Nadine wasn't in the game.
Yeah, to be fair, this was an earlier screen point, but I don't know if they could have compromised and could have kept Nadine as
compromised. That's what I was looking for.
Included Nadine in it, and then kind of
Terrific. No.
still went with some of Hemming's ideas, or whether she was willing to compromise it at all. But yeah, it was interesting. A lot of people had this for like a conspiracy against Naughty Dog if they were the new writers, because the 2 dudes that replaced her are the people who wrote The Last of Us, and their popularity just kind of really grew from that. So
this whole city was a decoy.
there's a conspiracy that they just started changing shit the way they wanted to. If that makes sense.
I'm willing to bet the tusk.
And that's why Amy Hemming had left and all this other shit. I don't know how true that is. I'd like to see some more behind the scenes shit come out. So Kotaku, aka Game, TMZ, y'all need to get on that shit. I really need to figure out something.
It's coming loose. Grab the eggs, quick!
It kind of sucks because it comes to some sort of happy video. It's not like people close their eyes and get completely terrible.
I would prefer your villain in the last rather than Rafe.
Oh my god. Rafe was a bitch, bruh. Fuck Rafe.
Well, the
It's
best
crazy,
part I've seen
yeah.
him, I may not have seen too much of the story, but I played part where you break out of prison and Rafe's trying to buy the bodyguard, the chief.
Yo!
And he's like, I want my money. He was like, alright, take that knife in your back, though. I was like, damn, nigga, we doing motherfuckers like that? You could have just paid that man.
Rafe's a snake ass nigga, bro. Always trying to stab somebody, too. That's a major foreshadowing now that I think about it. But yeah, I guess that's all we have to say about Uncharted's possible story, or what it could have been at least.
Indeed. That would have been an interesting way to to do the story. Would have made Sam a more interesting type of character.
I agree.
But no lasting thoughts on that. We can move on to our next bit of game news, which is South Park, The Fractured But Wholes. The difficulty slider for this game changes your skin pigmentation. And the darker your skin, the more difficult the game. Excuse me. And Cartman, his response to your selection of difficulty is, don't worry, this doesn't affect combat, just every other aspect of your whole life. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. And
I'm not a fan of South Park, so I don't play the games. I don't even know if that is actually true, because I saw something on Twitter where people were saying that it's not confirmed that it will actually make the game difficult. It's just in the caption of the character because you're black.
Well, well, no, go ahead.
That's it. I was just saying I don't know because I haven't really been looking for South Park.
I mean,
in my gaming dudes.
That's fair, but over the years, South Park's gotten a lot better than just, fart jokes, dick jokes, and trying to offend as many people as possible. Like it actually has developed
things into it while they make fart jokes, dick jokes, and talk about shoving food up your ass and shitting it out.
Is being channeled toward the gate, so let's follow the
to an extent, but they've added an actual sort of like overarching, well, not overarching story, but the story progresses now. It's not like your usual type of Family Guy, American Dad type of thing where nothing changes from week to week. In the series, it's always going to be the same shit. Like, Stan went through a whole period of actual, like, mental depression. Like, it was, like, shit jokes still, but it was, everything in the world is just shit to me now. And that's because I'm not happy with everything that goes on. Like, with life and, like, my parental situation. Like, his parents were fighting. They were trying to get a divorce. They actually went and got a divorce. Like a lot of things were going on, and we actually saw him as a character go through a lot of shit.
So they flooded their city.
And then they kind of continued that momentum in the later seasons, like especially with the most recent election, which they predicted Donald Trump's election.
Damn. Caitlyn Jenner was also wilding out in
yo,
running people over and shit.
Yes, she was. A lot of things were going on, and I've enjoyed it more recently than in the past. For what I can
still saying no to South Park. Like,
I mean, that's fair.
If they give me this nigga's sad story, I don't give a fuck. That shit is still like 8-year-olds in a room making jokes, and they make episodes out of it. Even the ones with political purpose. Oh my fucking god!
I still was a fan. Never.
Yeah, I was never like really into watching it, and like South Park or Family Guy or American Dad, honestly. I've kind of they're kind of like they. I don't think I would want social commentary from either of these shows, but I definitely understand people who gotta get their commentary from somewhere.
I mean, it's more of like a they make fun of shit that's going on that they actually care about, I guess, to some extent whatsoever. I don't know. And then they just throw a bunch of immature shit on top of it as well. So it's like, yeah, they're doing it, but I'm really not trying to hear dick jokes and shit. Like, watch dudes carry around his balls that have gotten hot from whatever the fuck and swollen.
Yo.
Yeah. So is the game like, are
that's
the
just not
games
me.
like live sim or something, or like?
It's like them
like,
role playing.
Yeah.
It's like they did a role play, like sort of mini series, and they take on those personas where they dress up in their costumes and that you go out and do shit. I didn't play Stick of Truth, but it didn't get generally bad reviews.
It actually got some pretty good reviews as far as being an RPG goes.
Like, I'm looking forward to... no, go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's a callback to classic RPGs. So, a lot... Oh, shit, I'm still alive. I thought I was already dead, but I wasn't. Now I actually
I was watching King of the Hill, if we're being honest here, when all those shows were on.
Shit, they still go. Like, I don't understand how Family Guy is still going. It's been so trash for so long.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Because people dedicated to it, I guess.
I think I'll have to take this rope swing.
I think the only show like that I'm dedicated to is Bob's Burgers.
I'm not even really dedicated to Bob's Burgers, but I do. If I had to pick one to enjoy, I would definitely sit down and watch my people enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like we minorly got off topic, but I'm highly waiting for this Pew Die Pie topic to come up.
It is literally our next topic, since it didn't want to have anything else to say about the fact that making yourself darker makes the game life harder.
Surprised you paying for being black, man. Like, go to the squad.
I mean, I guess they were just doing that. They've always kind of did some shit like that, like, as far as taking, like, a real-life issue and making a joke out of it to bring it to light, I guess. But, I mean, I get what some people said about it, but I'm like...
I mean, as of right now, it's the discussion is like, if it's actually, does it actually make the game harder? I've seen a lot of stuff on the message boards, like for the article that I read this off of, and it was more of people not getting that they're making a joke to make fun of, like, essentially institutionalized racism, and that people don't understand that it's an actual thing.
Bitch, bro, no, stop. Oh, yo, please continue, Skits. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm just scared.
I think that may have been it. They're basically making fun of people who don't get that institutionalized racism is a thing.
I mean, yeah, and that's kind of always the point. It's just like, at what point? At what point does it become a thing of commentary and like conversation sparking? At what point does it become trivializing? I think that would be more to the argument if you wanted to go that route, but I haven't really seen it because one, if you want to go there, South Park has done way worse. Like,
yes, oh yeah, it has.
They literally have a character named Token in the show, and he's black. There was a show where they were calling everyone nigger. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was an episode that run around calling people niggers. Like as a thing in the episode, like they said it like 68 times. Shit like that. Like it's very.
I know there's a shit episode like that.
Yeah, there's a shit episode. I'm trying to think if there's it might be new. I haven't seen the newest seasons. Like season 20 and season 19. I think I'm on season 19. Like the very end.
I may be wrong about that, but I do know that South Park has used nigger several times. But I think it was if I remember correctly.
There was one episode where Randy said so, or he said it. He was playing Jeopardy or something. Wheel of Fortune, and it was like people who annoy you, and the answer was naggers, and he did not say naggers, bruh. Okay, and everyone thought he was a racist, and he had to do a whole thing of apologizing to Token and his family to try and seem okay to them, so he would feel better about himself when everybody else could still be mad, bruh. You still said nigger. It's not okay. And speaking of people saying nigger and it not being okay.
Yo, that was a great transition right there. Give Skits some props.
Yeah, Skits deserves that.
I'm getting murdered right now. What the fuck is going on? The stream, I'm scrubbing like shit. Azov is murdering me. In this, with this. Oh god.
Oh, you playing the? Oh, you in the story mode?
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm in the story mode. I was in cutscenes for a minute, but I'm no longer in cutscenes. Azov is in a truck and he is trying to murder me. It shoots a lot of bullets very fast.
Are you playing on hard?
I am playing on hard, so you already fucking know, bro. I'm gonna have to die again because I went the wrong way.
And I already know that this is gonna get even more worse when it becomes crushing, because there's not gonna be any room for error.
There's gonna be so many dudes on here, but again, people saying nigger and then not being okay, and then apologizing afterwards, like that makes everything better. Pewds are not friend Pewds.
Infinite retries. You just reset on your racist bar every time you apologize for saying something racist.
Yes, this is not the first time he has quote slipped up, and he thinks that everyone will just be okay with it, and PewDiePie stands are definitely just don't give a fuck. I wonder why. No, I don't. That was an implied thing, but he dropped a video today apologizing for saying nigger on stream, but he quotes he knows he messed up and that he should do better, and that he can't keep making these types of slip-ups and things.
Yo, this nigga, get this nigga out of here. Whose man's is this, bro?
Not mine.
Whose fucking man's is this?
Guys,
get this nigga out of here, bro.
I'm gonna try extra hard to stop.
I gotta mask my racism. Keep saying nigger on screen, please.
I wasn't.
Honestly,
I wasn't done. Hold on.
Okay,
there's just one more. There's just one more. He just said the most hurtful thing he could think of, as if we hadn't heard that shit word for fucking word either from him or from somebody else. I know I've read that word for word from another YouTuber.
Oh, you definitely have.
I definitely have.
You not only
I just
talked about this when the pro Overwatch player said it. He was like,
that was word. That was who it was. The most offensive thing I can think of. Why is nigger the most offensive thing you can think of? I can think of some worse shit to say.
Not only that, but it's like that. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, why does your offensive shit have to be connected to race? That's what's important. Why are you drawing that connection? Because if I want to say something offensive, I'm gonna start talking shit about the person individually or what they were doing.
That thing carved on the floor.
Not calling them a nigger.
Right.
Nothing good. See those
I don't think that's ever crossed my mind. That's never slipped out of my mouth to say to somebody.
Exactly.
Every time I said nigga, I knew I was saying nigga.
But what's crazy is that this guy, fucking Poopy Pie, he looks like the type of person, he'll say it in your face and then, like, he'll get dropped in a millisecond. Like,
oh, you know damn well he would have never, it would never been it slipped moment if some niggas was actually in that room.
That's all I'm saying.
like,
you already know.
Like, if he, like, his mouth would have formed nig, he would have been on the ground dead already. So,
yo, nig.
It's just say nig and he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. I can't stand that guy. Every time I see his face,
I did say he is
please.
When he said all that anti-Semitic shit.
It ain't even. It was before the anti-Semitic shit. There was the black girl jokes that he did in stream. There was the fucking.
Duly noted.
Hold on 1 second, because I'm definitely about to die. Yeah, there was the racist jokes that he made in stream, and there's a couple of them. You can go look them up of just racist comments in general that he said during his streams, during his videos, during his reviews, all that shit. It's been documented. He has been doing this like Nazi shit or making light of Nazism in some way in his videos. It just became a big deal recently because of the political climate that we're in. This nigga has been trashed for a good minute. His fans do not give a fuck. They think that shit is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just a comedian.
That I wanna punch in the face.
Like I read the comments on this video too, and almost all of them defending him are he's just a comedian. You know, everyone's just so sensitive, and they just don't get dark comedy. There are other YouTubers who say worse things all the time. If they can say it, why can't Pewds? If they're saying it too, it's not okay. Like, just because someone else is saying it doesn't like undermine him saying it
in the
too.
gaming community that we do others. Like, and this maybe would have been blown up more so on a larger scale if it were PewDiePie saying these things. But niggas get passes on that F-bomb a lot in the gaming community.
Yeah.
They do what now?
Get passes on the F-bomb.
Which one? Which F?
Swear for homosexuals.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they sure do.
They make so much fun of that, and people be laughing like it's just funny.
And see, that was something else. Like, people keep saying, people act like they've never played Call of Duty. I've heard 8-year-olds say worse. That shit ain't okay for them either. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? Oh, these 8-year-olds can say it on Call of Duty, so PewDiePie, a fully grown man who, you know, can make adult decisions and take responsibility fully for his actions, can say it.
Nah, fuck that. I'll fight that nigga on sight.
I mean, that's the thing too, because I don't want. It's not like a can't say it. You can say it. You just gotta deal with the consequences of what you just fucking said.
Exactly.
No one is stopping you from saying anything. Say whatever you want. An 8-year-old can say whatever they want. When your 8-year-old white kid goes to school
is pretty fucking good.
And calls a black kid a nigga and gets knocked the fuck out.
Don't be calling to sue nobody.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Like, hate speech ain't covered. You can still get your ass whipped over that.
Come on.
Right.
Shit, I missed it.
It's really wild. The gaming community funny sometimes. Oh my god, I'm about to die.
Like going through.
I'm about to die like shit.
Man, they're not willing to just take this L on PewDiePie, bro. Talking about people making mistakes, and I'm just like, bro, what do you mean? It just slipped out. I've never in my life ever slipped up and just called like just any racial slur ever. That's just not even in my vocabulary to even slip the fuck up.
Exactly.
And instead of saying fuck or something, you gotta
He said fucking niggers, bruh. Like, he gave both. He gave both.
And I know
like I said, Reconstruction era ER, bruh.
For real, bro. That fucking Jim Crow ER added on that bitch.
Like the whole thing. Like the whole thing. But it was just a slip. And that was the worst thing you could think of. Or the most offensive thing you could think of. Okay, Pewds. Okay.
Could you just think about it if there were different things that were just racist,
like you could say you piece of shit, or I hope you die. There's lots of other shit you can say.
And that's why you can't drink the same water fountain as me. Like,
bro, yo, stop. Yo, stop.
What are you accomplishing? What are you? That dude probably won't even black. That's like on top of that.
Exactly. You have no idea what this dude is, but you calling him a whole. You calling him the whole hard ER.
I mean,
we were, but it wasn't.
People do that shit all the time. They'll call people niggers, and they won't know if they're black, if they're white, if they're Asian. But because they know that's the most offensive shit that they can say, they'll say it. It don't matter to them if you're black or not. They know that shit's gonna hurt.
I'm saying, if you really say some racist shit for the sake of being offensive, then you kind of racist, bro. Like, you kind of fit into that category.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to come up like I was informed about this. I don't be watching his videos, but he had to come up with like an entire substitute word to keep from saying it on stream.
Yo, bruh.
It's gonna say naggers now?
No, stop! Stop! No.
Is that where we're going with this? Because if he says naggers on stream, I'm still gonna count it as him saying nigger.
Nah, it was worse. It was closer.
It's like ninjas, niggers.
No,
niggers.
The word, but with a B for the G.
Niggers.
Biggers.
Yeah. Biggers.
Biggers.
Fucking bigger.
No, for the G's, bro.
Oh, okay.
Niggers.
Nibbers. Nibbers.
Oh,
he had to
nibbers
come up with an alternative term live on stream to keep from saying nigger. Are you serious?
Every time that he says nibbers,
That's what I
that
heard.
counts as
Apparently,
PewDiePie
it
saying
was like
niggers.
an in joke on his shit for his stream.
He's such a shithead, man. I just want to see this guy's just entire empire just crumble between his fingers. That's all I want.
Whatever game he was playing, they pulled down one of his videos and said he can't make videos using their game anymore.
It was that Players Underground shit that you.
Players Unknown. Ooh, that's big.
That's what he was playing.
That's pretty big.
Yo, speaking of that, I'm
They
gonna go.
didn't come out and say anything, did they?
I believe it was it was some developer.
No,
Hold on, let me.
Y'all showed the video. It
It
showed
was a
what game
Firewatch
was for it.
developer.
Oh, Firewatch. Yeah, not
so
Player
he was playing
Unknown.
Battleground, but Firewatch was like, you can't stream our games anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the wild thing about that is,
Ow.
like, there's been like no change in content from when he was making his Firewatch videos. I guess they just waited for him to slip up, and everyone took notice of it to say, "Hey, now you get banned."
I'm actually glad more gaming communities are actually doing better to keep a lock on that shit. Like, you ain't about to use us as a source. Don't fuck with that shit. Nah. Better go somewhere else with that bullshit.
Honestly, they just being smart for their brand, to be honest. Cause
Yeah, that's all that is.
A lot of it's very divisive.
They can't let that shit sleep.
It's a very divided thing. God damn it! I keep dying on Spark. There's nowhere for me to go. I have no comfort, no ammo. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Another thing that interested me was I was seeing like some of these YouTube videos pop up from like black YouTubers reacting to the clip, and the reactions range from "I'ma fight that man" to "I don't really fucking care."
I mean, that's kind of.
And a lot of them like poke fun of it. Like this one dude had like a photo reel of like slaves picking cotton in the background every time he said it.
Actually, that's a whole.
It was just like what?
That's Nandy. Sheila's gatekeeper.
I don't know. My reaction whenever I hear that word is just anger. Like, I feel nothing else but anger whenever I hear that word. So, I don't think I could ever, like, laugh. Like, someone just called me a nigger and I'll just be like, oh, good joke, pal. No. No, that's not my reaction.
What it is that people are, because when people say shit like that to me, because I've been called nigger a lot online. Believe it or not. Outspoken black dude who knows some shit when he's talking gets called nigger a lot.
Sam's kind of the reason why.
Usually when that happens, I just kind of laugh like, yo, you're fucking sad. Like, you're a pathetic human being.
For me on the disc, but then he went.
That you have to go to call somebody a nigger to like get your point across.
History with the Sav made you the obvious.
If anything, you just.
Oh shit! Nadine just clocked Chloe. Oh shit.
Good. I don't know. Like, my first reaction to the video was like, wow, open mouth. This nigga really just said nigga. Watch this again. This nigga really out here saying nigga. I'm not surprised, but he got the hard, like the hard ER just out in the video.
You saw how casually he said that shit? This fucking nigga.
Bro. That's what I'm sitting there learning.
I mean, that's the shit that kills me. He said it so conversationally, so it was just.
I immediately was just like, they're fucking nigger. Oh, I mean, the fucking asshole.
I was just sitting here like,
Sorry,
man, I punched this nigga in the back of his fucking head.
Yo, Nadine just fucking
shit,
left.
Man, that shit's fucking annoying.
Oh,
I too have been called the N-word though, and sometimes I just think the shit is funny because white people are really wild out here. Like, damn, y'all can't help but to be racist. Y'all just can't hold that shit back. You just gotta
they immediately start talking about welfare or some shit. And I was just like, y'all think it's funny.
Because they all say the same shit. They all say the same shit.
Exactly, bro. I'm so ready to put that in my fucking PlayStation there, because you know it pisses them off. These pathetic niggers leeching off of our tax money. You know that makes it, baby.
Oh my god.
That's too accurate. I mean, that's how they do, man. It's crazy because it's
They
just
just
no like creativity or
and they
anything
ain't
like
looking
that.
at
They
the
just
stats
fucking
either.
parakeet. They just fucking parakeet each other.
I mean,
He does nothing.
they got some pretty high mind ideas.
Slow down.
Which freaks me the fuck out because it's like, how do y'all just think the same?
Well, at least I've still got my
Like,
dignity.
how do you not have individual thought?
A lot of people
Why
don't.
is your instinct to go with it? I don't know. It just. Ugh.
A lot of people just have hive mind mentalities, especially in groups. Group think is a thing.
Fuck,
Yeah,
bruh. They sent
just
two of these armored fucking shotgun dudes on both
I'm bothered.
sides. And there's only two sides.
I mean,
I'm generally bothered by it. 'Cause it's just. How do you not, like, go about your day thinking for yourself? Like, why do you feel the need to just. Oh, black people are the welfare queens and the food stamp takers, and they have no jobs, and they're lazy, and they eat watermelon. Like, they all say the same shit. Like, it's never, like, can you, I'm not even, I guess I shouldn't say, like, can you at least be creative with your racism? But it's just.
Can you at least be creative with your racism, though? 'Cause this is-
Like, it's just, it gets old because you just hear the same shit over and over again.
That's what I liked when I got called a weave of color. I thought that was a pretty unique twist.
That is damn near. That's new. That's pretty new. I've never heard that. That's
Dude,
that new
weave of
new.
color. Just another weave of color. That's it. I was like, yo,
It's like what? Wow. Maybe that's an ouch.
there's enough of us now.
There's enough weaves
Niggas
of.
that penetrate anime.
You can't take our anime from us.
Successfully.
Just a weeb of color. That sounds so. It sounds kind of cool, TVH. It's better than being just a standalone weeb.
Right. Weave of
Yo,
color.
niggas wow. This shit is wild.
Oh, nah. I'm on it now.
I like it.
I'm on it now. I got the Uzi out now. I ain't fucking with
as a whole white person that's been called the N-word online, that shit is wild.
He said as a whole white person.
As a whole person.
Bro, they-
As
yo,
opposed
Oh,
to.
I already know why they call Judd a nigger, because he got like a slang to his voice, or people will just
So
assume
they're
that he's
like-
black.
Hey, I thought Joe was black for the longest time until I went on his Facebook. I went on his Facebook profile. I was like, oh, he's white.
Oh shit.
Yes.
No, man. I'm telling you.
I did not know.
You've been hanging out with too many hood niggas, bro.
White people don't like me.
Yo, Nadine is just whooping people's ass, bruh.
Yeah.
I've been outcast.
Yo.
Such sorrow.
Bro, that should be wild, but it's just like you go from having like a seemingly just disagreement, and they just skip right over to the N-word. Like, damn.
They do this shit with Jews a lot too. People be really quick
do
to
that,
say
dude.
some shit about like killing
I-
Jews.
I have heard more Jewish, like, hate speech than I've heard anti-black hate speech, at least in my experience. Which is wild to me, because I'm like, why?
I've heard an equal amount of both, to be honest. Like, because sometimes I get into these PSN parties, and this dude would be talking, like, just randomly talking about being
Jews.
a Nazi, or like people just say
Yeah.
I'm a Nazi because
Yeah.
they try. I think it's like a cute way
try
to
to
be
be edgy,
offensive
bro.
to people, and I'm just like, bro,
Trolling.
shut the fuck up. Everybody trying to hear all that.
Hey, I wonder where that came from. Cutie pie.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
That, them niggas, his
Cancerous.
parents
It's cancerous.
They only do what they learn, bruh. Some people just really don't have
It's
anything
so
better to do with their life.
impressionable. Mm. But it's
That
like,
4chan culture.
the youth is impressionable, but after a certain age, you kind of gotta not be as impressionable.
That is very
I feel
true.
like that shit. I feel like that shit carries over, for people that aren't willing to grow from shit.
At some point, you gotta learn, and you gotta just realize that some of the shit that comes from cultures, even cultures that you love, because in gaming in particular, I know I was bad with using the F word when I was like 14. That would be a thing that I would go to. And the more I learned about it, the more I realized that shit's not okay. I don't slip up and just drop the F-ball.
Right. Yeah. I can't even remember the last time I used that word. Like it's just not in my vocabulary. It's so easy to just not use a word.
Especially when you learn a lot of the history behind, why you say that word. Why this word in particular. And
it's like, I don't want to say that word.
That's actually kind of corny.
I'm out here hurting people's feelings. Let me stop. But for some reason, for some people, their reaction to that is, oh, I know I can hurt your feelings now, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Like, it's just, it blows my fucking mind.
Shit.
Some people just don't give a fuck. They're just not empathetic. They really don't think that's
and that's what sucks more than anything, is that people just don't care.
And some people, some people aren't. I can't say they're not taught that racism doesn't exist. It's more so that they don't.
They're taught not to care about the racism.
Yeah, cause me personally, I never had a conversation with my parents about that shit. I just kind of grew up and I came to understand how certain shit was. I was just like, yo, this ain't right.
Well, let me tell you this for sure. My mom definitely told me that niggas is not like.
Yeah,
That's definitely. I think that's really what's part of the issue, because girls get that talk about, and kind of unfairly in a lot of situations, about men and the dangers of that type of shit. Guys don't learn about that shit. They don't learn not to rape women.
They don't.
Women are taught really early to close their legs and not do shit like that. Black people are taught, hey, don't go acting out in stores or get in trouble because you're gonna get killed because you're black and people look at you different. Or you have to be careful with what you say and how you act because you don't want them to perceive you as a nigga and not just a black person type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of that black people get told not to do, rather than white people learning, hey, I probably shouldn't be racist.
Yeah, honestly, that shit is like a day-to-day task too, because it's like growing up black, you're like oddly aware of how people are perceiving you all the time. Like,
you gotta be on your shit. You gotta mind your P's and Q's.
You gotta be on your P's and Q's.
In public.
Which I found out what that actually, where that comes from, minding your P's and Q's.
And to some extent, it kind of causes some paranoia, because you already know how cops treat black people. So every time you see a cop, you're automatically on edge more so than you would be normally.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I'm running across white people. Once I'm running out a bunch of white people, I'm over here like, y'all niggas is wild. I don't know what y'all about to do. Who about to shut up this restaurant?
We are an unpredictable bunch. You never know what we're gonna do.
All y'all niggas got camo on. I don't know how I feel about that.
That should be weird, man. Like, y'all just be walking around in camo in like fucking Walmart.
It's a culture, man.
Yo.
It's a whole culture.
Like, I'll be at
shotguns right now.
Like over where my parents live, it's just like all of that. You go to Walmart, you just trying to get you some like fucking hot Cheetos or some shit, and you walking around and you just see all these people in like that weird like mulch camo. It's not even like the cool looking camo. It's this shit that looks like a bunch of leaves stuck on somebody's shirt, and they're walking around.
Camo?
But I just be getting uncomfortable. Yes, but I just get uncomfortable. But it's like, you say some shit like that, and it's like, oh, well, why? It's like, it's the same damn reason y'all get uncomfortable when you see us in the store. Like, get out of my face, bruh.
Except for we're more warned because y'all, used to hang niggas.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Like I knew I was like, man, I know there was one time I went to Walmart, my parents' house, and there was some guy walking around, and he was armed. Like you could just see his gun. He's just walking around casually, and I'm like, that was when I was like, I need to get the fuck out of Villarica, and I'm glad that I did, and I never looked back. I don't know how my parents still live there, but you know they're weird. They like living there, and I'm like, I need to see more black people in my life. Hence, Tater.
Man, where I grew up, there was like one, maybe two black families that I knew of. Which is wild. So when I went to Martinsville, I was like, yo.
Oh shit, Judge, you're not from the Ville?
City school.
Oh shit, I didn't know you weren't from the Ville. Oh shit.
I definitely lived in Franklin County, and it was not a lot of color. And then I went to Martinsville when I did switch schools. That was something that I had to like, not necessarily adjust to, but it was more so of like, this is definitely different. Because I was like, yo, like I never had any interactions really with people of color prior to this, or at least in that capacity, as far as being like, I never had a black teacher, or I never had black classmates, to be honest. Or at least not that I remember.
I'm trying to think of how many black teachers I've had since I started going to college. I don't think I've seen too
That's so crazy, cause like where I grew up in Florida, it was so diverse. And if anything, when I came to Georgia, that was when I was like, yo, why the fuck are there so many white people here? Like, cause when I was growing up, that wasn't like my reality. Like I grew up around people who either looked like me or they were some form of not white. You know, so
see, but that's the thing right there. You see it right here on stream that a lot of places in the United States in pretty much just like countrywide, we're still segregated. So that white people can go a very long time without interacting with black people, or very many black people, let alone getting to know that they're actually people. Let me stop.
I mean, it was just weird to me because I grew up in such a diverse area. So I remember when I came to Georgia, and that was like such a culture shock to me because, you know, this is like my first day of high school in Georgia. I remember it was the worst because, you know, I was the only black person in a lot of my classes. So I was like mad uncomfortable, and it just showed. And I remember I like went home crying like the first week because I told my mom that I hated the school, and she was like, why? And I was like, there's so many white people. And she was like, what? And I was like, there's so many white people at my school, I don't know what to do. And she was like, what do you mean? Just get used to it. I was like, I guess. But it was such a weird like culture shock. People used to like walk around with like dip in their mouth and empty Sprite bottles full of their fucking spit.
That dipping shit is just nasty, bro.
To the country, bro.
That was definitely non-existent. So seeing that and then just them doing it so openly in class, I was just like, this is really nasty. And then I had class in trailers too, so that was also.
You had class in a fucking trailer? Goddamn.
Yeah.
Yo, I had class in trailers too.
I had classes in trailers.
I actually had my son's class in Danville in a trailer.
In my outfit, the trailers for all the fifth grade classes were in trailers.
Yeah.
Outside the school, and the actual school didn't have AC, but the trailers did.
Yo, okay, so that's at least lit.
My first year I had all my classes in the trailers. I remember that. I never saw the inside of the school. I was outside in them trailers all day. But then I realized when you're an upperclassman, that's when you have all of your classes in the building. If you're a freshman, you get the trailers, bitch.
You get the trailers, bro.
Pretty much.
As much as we'd evolved from Pew Die Pie, because I'm trying to remember that this is actually
we talked about a lot of things, but I just let you guys go on because I was doing some sneak shit on Uncharted. Yeah. Okay, and I just got straight murder. We got one more. We got one more. Since we're talking talking shit about you know, racist people and you know, pieces of shit. You know, we have Destiny 2. Not saying Destiny 2 is, you know, shit right now. That was not my point. I was talking about the removal of a hate symbol that's used by the I guess the alt-right, because I've never seen it before. They removed a glove that had a design that has like it's like a K and like a L. It's Kek? Fuck is Kek?
K-E-K. It's one I've always seen it used as LOL or whatever, but I never played World of Warcraft. But
that's how I played World of Warcraft. That's how I've seen it.
Yeah,
like,
Kek it's the LOL is read as Kek when you on Horde.
Yeah, pretty much. Because like the Horde and Lions can't talk to each other, but we all found out that was like the translation for LOL.
It was Kek. So people started using that a lot online, which is where I saw it because I didn't play World of Warcraft. And as the alt-right does, or as white supremacists do, who kind of got their start in that 4chan-esque area. I don't know if they were still on 4chan when this was going on. But anyways, when that whole thing kind of came together, they started to use Kek as a symbol. They just replaced the Nazi imagery on the flag with Kek, and then had green in the background in place of red. And there's a picture of it. When Destiny 2 was released, they had that similar design. It was just Kek written on it. It had a green background, and it looked closely enough to the flag to where people were like, "Hey, this is an issue." And Bungie immediately took that shit out. I don't know if it was an honest coincidence. I don't know if they intentionally put it in and then backtrack, or what. But I mean, it's better than this. I don't know how much power we should give them over shit like that, though. Because imagine if they were trying to make a Warcraft reference and now they can't, because the alt-right has appropriated what Kek is.
I feel like they could if they changed it a little bit, like made some adjustments to it, like take it out and then just try to make it. Yeah.
See, that's what a lot of the people on this board were saying, but they also included this is all just PCs, SJW bullshit. Now Bungie's just be feeling pressured, or else they'll get hit with the hammer of SJWs, and I'm just like, I don't feel like giving you the one valid point that you made out of all of it, because you just have to leave all of it in.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I knew that was going to be a thing amongst the gaming circles anyways, because that shit happens everywhere we go. Like, same people arguing that Pew Die Pie is not racist just because he called someone a nigger are the same ones that are just going to be like, this is social justice warriors ruining our games. Because, yeah, it happens.
But I do agree with your point. It's like they're just trying to permeate into it so much to take whatever symbols they can.
Yeah, I mean, not only whatever symbols they can, but just the fact that they have the power to change your mind on like, or not use something, that type of thing is should we give them that much power?
The thing is, I don't think we should, but we have to also like mitigate,
acknowledge it. Yeah,
like
I feel that.
It's difficult to do in a lot of situations because, as you said, they very well could be aware of what they're doing and doing these things intentionally to have the power to be like, we use this and no one else can because we use it, type of thing.
It's frustrating.
I
Honestly.
did not want to come all the way down here. I know I missed
I don't
a
want to
treasure.
give them cuck either because they use cuck a lot. I don't want to give them cuck though.
I don't.
Yeah, we'll leave that.
I love me some cook.
We'll leave that to the porn community. Like, we don't need to let white nationalists have cuck too. We just can't have them with all of that too.
My bad. I did not think that through.
I love me some cuck. What?
Okay. Well,
I did not think that through. Sorry.
Lord. I mean, if you do, you can. I ain't judging. I'm just gonna be like, that was an interesting thing to say. I want to ask you a question now, but I kind of don't. Afraid of the answer.
What's the question?
Nah, no. It was,
now you have to ask.
That was the joke.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Okay.
But fuck them. That's about it. Fuck them.
I mean, that's really all you need.
Ain't shit head asses. It's real weird that people gotta go out of their way to just be not shit. Just don't be shit. You ain't gotta try so hard.
No, but they want to be assholes and not get punished for it.
It's literally, there's a treasure literally on top of me. Where the fuck is it?
But speaking of Destiny, when you've been playing a lot, how you feeling about it?
Well, Maurice, in my expert opinion, it's a little better than the first one, a whole lot. I'm liking the exotics that you're getting in this. I'm liking the playstyle. The PvP is on point, because I'm thrashing, you know what I'm saying?
But I don't think she's wounded. Those explosions we heard must
But I really like it. I really do.
Easy go.
Alright, okay, and this is my main thing, because I have been, and if Jud's still here. Is Jud still here?
Yeah, Judd's here. He was just saying a thing.
Yeah. That's what I thought, but I don't know, short-term memory, whatever. If Jud's still here, he's been telling me some updates of the game, but I kind of want you guys to kind of talk about what's different from the first one and why you like the first one more so than the second one.
Wait, I like the second one more than I like the first one.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say if I said it backwards.
Yeah. I think I wish they would add a little bit more people to your fire team. That's just my opinion. Not that I need people. I'm just saying,
right?
Yeah, you only get 3. But my whole thing is, if you want, like, they just put an update with the strikes and stuff, and apparently there's one called the gilded strikes, and you get more XP if you do it with your clan. Well, me and Judd and AJ are like the only 2 that I know of. They're the only 2 I know of that are in our clan. Now, say we wanted half our clan to get a bunch of XP, we couldn't get but 3 people at a time, you know what I'm saying? To run that. But that's just my opinion. Judge may vary. And I'm also liking how you don't really need to have a whole lot of people with it. Like, I literally beat the game by myself. Like you don't have to have, like, how in the first one you kind of like needed people to help you and shit like that. You don't really need, if you know what you're doing, you don't really need that much help.
Oh, I wanted to give her the rest. Hey, the monkeys.
I'm still kind of iffy. How do you feel about these shitters? Is the real thing.
Yeah, how do you feel about these one-use?
Making a big ass deal about that shit.
Look, I am.
All it is changing the color of your fucking armor.
Yeah, that's
okay,
it.
but see,
that's not the thing that they're getting mad about. It's the fact that it's one-time use, and that was a feature that was taken out of Destiny 1.
It don't matter though.
And
you
that they're trying to.
Once.
And people can buy them, which means that if you buy one and you put, like, you have to buy a bunch to make all of your shit match, and then if you change your mind, you can't change the color to something else. People do change their minds all the time.
It's a sneaky way to put in microtransactions to where
exactly.
It's like, hey, we're making it harder for you to get what you want, just so we can sell it.
Ministry of Culture.
Like, it's just changing color. Why is that a consumable in the game?
Like, why isn't it just free for all? Why isn't it unlimited like it was before? There was no need
because I did
to change
swag my dude out. Like, I want my dude swagged out, and I'm not about to have to grind for certain colors. I don't know how's the drop. Is it?
You don't have to. You just Dude,
Yeah, you get them.
You
get
do a
'em.
mission and you just get them.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
what I don't get. You get them.
What are the
them at end
chances of
you get
getting
them at the end
multiples of the
missions,
same
but
one?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
What are you getting? What are you getting?
You got a
in the box?
90% chance of getting a legendary shader. Any strike, any fucking challenge you equip, you might get a legendary enneagram and you'll get a shader. Trust and believe that. Every time you get an enneagram, you're getting a shader. And you get enneagrams like fucking crazy.
Listen, Fraser.
Okay, here's
As
you're
long
not
as
answering
you
my
don't-
question there. Like, what colors
But,
are you getting in the box?
Like, how
Are you
many
getting a
of
variety
one
of
shader?
colors?
What are the odds of
You get
getting
stacks
different
of-
ones?
You get 5. You get either 4 or 5. Sometimes you get 2, but most of the time they're 5. All the ones I've gotten so far have been 5. And I don't even use half of mine. I actually would prefer the mods because the mods actually are something I like that they put in the second one. I meant to add that. Because
Isn't the mods the
after
thing
a
that
while-
change your weapon level or increase your
Yeah.
something or whatever?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can modify different
Yeah,
weapons now.
it actually helps when you get to level 260 because you solely relying on legendary enneagrams at that point to like rank up. And you get like the if you equip good mods with it, then you can get your weapon to at least 300, and that's like max. 300 is the max right
We
now.
accomplished nothing else today.
Right now, yeah.
At least we reunited a family.
But
Just keep your distance.
Like,
They've got a
okay,
copy.
you get,
Right.
you do like a strike or like a mission with your friends.
or
You're gonna
challenge,
at
you know what I'm
least,
saying?
yeah, you're gonna at
You're
least
gonna
get 3 to 5 shaders.
Shaders, yeah.
Here's
And
my thing. With as many weapons as you get in Destiny and as many outfits and different pieces of armor that you get upgrade constantly, because it's one of those games where you're grinding shit to get new items and new weapons and shit like that. Why limit how often I can customize my character just so you can sell it to me back as DLC?
Yeah.
And then you know there's gonna be DLC later.
And there's already announced DLC that people have already put 60 to $80 in to get that shit, and you charging
Yeah.
niggas for the color of their outfit.
See, I'm not with that because I got all my DLCs are coming with me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not. I bought my $100 copy. I ain't paying for no
This
more
nigga
money
paid
for that.
$100 on
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take a little slight reprieve, just butt in a little bit. I'm just gonna say Chloe and Nadine's interaction right now with these elephants is cute as fuck. That was so
It's
fucking
very
cute.
It's
That
very
was so
fucking
cute, bruh. Holy shit. Okay, I'm done. You can continue about your
Also-
$100 on Destiny 2.
If it makes you feel better, Shaquise.
No, I've done worse. I've done worse, Jordan. I'm just talking
I was
shit.
about to say, how about that $300 Fall Fantasy 15?
273, nigga.
273 for Final Fantasy. I wouldn't pay $2.73 for that fucking game.
I mean, you wouldn't be wrong, but it seemed
Actually, I can't even
from the
defend 15.
outset, it seemed like it would be a good game. It seemed like it would have a lot of
That game was worth
replayability.
like $20. That game was worth like $20.
It did not.
But
I
see, my
made a
thing-
wrong
should've
call,
spent my
and
gameplay.
Square Enix shitted on me. Square shat on my face. That's what they did.
There,
Oh, that's pretty
now, there's
graphic.
games I've spent at least 60 on just buying brand new that I've regretted. I've spent the $100 on this. I don't regret it at all.
That's
fair.
good.
I've
That's fucking
definitely heard
good,
that
though.
a lot. That's a good thing.
I'm
cautious,
upset.
though. I'm still very. I kind of want to get it because I do want to play. I really like the idea of Destiny and what they showed me, but what I got with Destiny 1 was
Mo,
not it.
How
and
about
I'm still.
this? Mo, how about this?
What?
When I come up Friday, I'll bring it and let you play it on yours for a while. Like, I'll bring it. I have the disc copy. I can let you shop play it if y'all want.
All right.
I mean, it's coming back with me, though, but I'm saying y'all can play while I'm there.
We already know,
If
Jordan.
I like it,
Strikes.
if I
I
like
got
it good
strikes I gotta
enough,
run.
if I like it good enough, I'll just buy it while you're here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just figured it'd give you like a rough, like, if you like it. I can tell you from my experience, but that's because I'm fanboying right now. Like, you
Yeah,
tell
you
me.
try to be on Destiny 1.
Yeah, but like, my thing is, and that's another thing I've been meaning to tell you. You got me on Destiny 1 in the first place.
I know. I'm sorry, bruh. I'm fucking sorry. I did get you on Destiny.
You and Joey used to make me run them damn strikes and raids with y'all all the fucking time, and now you act like you done forgot what Destiny is. Like,
I mean, Destiny 1 won't anything hot.
That was the old me.
I can tell you, I can tell you all day, every day, it's a good game. It's like the same way Shakis could tell me Final Fantasy is good, and I'd be like, that's just his opinion. I would have to play it for myself to formulate.
I can tell you Final Fantasy X is good.
I don't play none of them, and I'm not going to play any of them.
Lord have mercy.
Lord.
So people trying to sell me those games is
to get like that.
Damn, you had to call niggas stupid though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Let me not say stupid. Let me reiterate. They don't know me well enough to offer me those games. They must not know me. That's what I tell them.
And that's what I was gonna say. I could have seen you enjoying 15 because your complaint of the game is that it's turn-based and you don't like that, which is a lot of people's complaint on turn-based RPGs in general. I disagree. I feel like you miss out on a lot of shit, but you don't give a fuck about story, and I'm not that person. I fuck with the story a lot.
See, my thing is, like I tell people now, if I would have got on that game when it first came out, I'd probably like it. But instead of that, I was playing Crash and stuff like that, so I didn't really want to pick it.
Yeah.
I didn't get Final Fantasy until I was like in high
Again,
school.
explaining to me why I should get these games, you obviously don't know me that well.
I'm not explaining why you should get those games. I'm not explaining at all. That's
you about as bad as
what I was saying.
Me and Judd I seen Judd at GameStop and they was trying to sell us Madden. I was like, right.
For real.
Like,
okay,
right.
See, the fact that you will compare Final Fantasy to Madden is L off top. But I'm not trying to convince you to buy Final Fantasy. I'm just saying that you don't have to play a game forever to get into it. I didn't even like Final Fantasy or know of Final Fantasy until I was in high school. But that's completely different from Destiny. The reason why I wanted to ask you about it is because I want opinions from people who actually played the game. Because the more I play and are currently playing the game, when you can, because you know that should be going down a week after the game launch. Shots.
Okay. Here we go. I knew that was coming.
Nah, for real though, it like their opinion changes and you have more weight in what you say about Destiny. I can speculate all I want about Destiny. I can't tell you whether or not it's a good game.
I mean, for 1.2 billion concurrent players, that's impressive. And you would expect problems like that.
Million, bro, not billion. Million.
That's a big difference. But no, that is a big deal though. They have so many concurrent players and people aren't that interested. Like, and Destiny was one of the few games that did not drop, and they kept their numbers open, unlike Overwatch. But they kept their numbers open, and people continue to play Destiny a lot. It's really weird. I don't know why, considering the first one was trash, but they did.
Because people are stubborn. Want the exotics. That's the whole thing. Like, that's the only thing people want. They want them exotics. Like, I've got 6 weapons so far that are exotics. And I want to get a whole armor set. But it sucks because you can only equip one at a time. Like, you can only have one exotic weapon, and I think you might be able to equip multiple. No, I don't even think you can have multiple headgear of exotics. But your boy definitely rocking it. I've actually got the grenade launcher, Judd. I got that shit. I got that shit a little while ago.
I got a new exotic today too. I think it's like an exotic.
And I got a bright anagram. And okay, I will have to say this though. The one thing I dislike about this, the whole story, you are walking. They do not give you a sparrow, like at all. So you walking for a good part of the game. You don't get your sparrow till you get level 20. Now, unless you grinding, you gonna be walking. That's all I'm telling you.
See,
like, we left my homeboy the other day because he didn't get his, and I was not about to wait on him.
Sparrow. They give you that in the beta of Destiny 1. Why take that away from?
Because they wanted people to explore more and things like that.
And I can understand that
a lot
because
of people
they have
were just zipping past the level.
They have lost sectors and shit like that now with loot and exotic engrams and shit. So it's good that you are walking, because if you were just riding a Sparrow, you would just be riding to the objective the whole fucking time.
Damn it, they see us.
Bruh, I couldn't even avoid being seen. Oh, yes, I could have.
That's a fair point. It's just weird that it's a drop thing, because now you pick up a Sparrow and it's, I don't know, this is kind of counterproductive. They should have areas where you can and can't use it. That would be better.
That would have worked out. And I got sniped. That would have worked out a lot better.
Yeah.
Have you guys been able to get back on today, or is this?
I'm playing right now.
Yeah, I'm playing right now. What you talking about? I've been playing the whole stream.
They finally got it up after about 6 hours or so.
They look like they were struggling last time.
They was definitely struggling. The nigga said this should be done by 8 a.m. And every hour they were just like 9, 10,
9, 10,
2,
11,
12.
12.
Niggas was going through some things. This shit was funny. I'm waiting for kind of.
And then the stands.
Oh no! Hold on, Judge. Should we tell them the shit we seen AJ do in the strike when the boss came up on him?
Oh no!
Oh boy!
Yo.
Don't expose this,
Dude.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna do it. But like me and Judd and AJ, we running strike, right? I'm telling them the dude's gonna come invisible and then he gonna pop up on him. He was up on AJ. AJ was up on a ledge. Instead of fighting this man, he jumps off the ledge. No bullet was fired. He just turned around and he hit it right in front of me and Judd. And he was like, "Nah, I failed. I failed." No, you didn't.
We watched you, bro.
We watched you jump.
Lord
I said,
mercy, bro.
Why y'all gotta expose him?
You know what I said, Mo? I said, and this is our clan leader running away from battle. This is the nigga. This is how you feel.
Let me stop. Let me not, bro. Y'all be just
like, cause I told Judd, cause I was like, Judd, I don't believe.
Order 12 was like completely fine.
Oh, but one of them.
Yeah,
one of the clan members hit me up earlier today, wanting to run some raids and shit. And I was like, it's just us two, man. It's just gonna be fucking slow as hell.
I am hyped for that raid though.
Shit, that did throw me away.
You get to fight the fucking Leviathan.
Yeah, everybody hyped for that Leviathan. I can't stand that motherfucker. Fuck the Leviathan.
Bro, I have to fight a helicopter, hella niggas with armored shit. This shit is hard, dude. Like, or it's gonna be hard if I get caught.
This shit is not. These niggas is throwing.
Yakuza Zero's on sale. It's half price now.
Hey, I never got into the Yakuza games. That shit. Eventually,
apparently there's a lot of shit there. I was watching a video on it. And there's a lot of shit to do. I don't personally, I've never played it, but I might cop it because it's $35.
Yakuza?
Yeah.
I've heard so many things about that game. I might have to get it too. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've heard generally good things about it.
Yeah.
I've heard a few complaints, but it seems like a fun beat 'em up type of game to play with a lot of content. I've never actually played through an actual Yakuza game.
You can run your own host club.
Yeah, shit like that.
Or in high school host club. Lol. Just have to throw the young host club reference out there. What's wrong, Judge? You don't fuck with Orange High School Host Club? I mean, I feel you.
We showing boys over here.
I don't really like the art style of it, but people, this is the anime you watch for if you want this type of thing. I'm like, I'm not so sure.
I'm a simple man. I like it when
Very
people
beginner.
fight my animes.
Oh,
man, also, people that be like dubs over subs.
Dubs over subs is the most foolish argument. You lying if you saying dubs over subs every time.
No, go English dub for Orange.
Fuck! That's not what I wanted to do.
Oh, they gave me a silent pistol. It's lit. I gotta roll out the way though.
It's not good at all.
I'm still like, this man AJ tried to run from the boss.
That ain't going away no time soon. And he
Bring that up
steadily,
every day.
like,
For real. He just ran.
ran.
Ooh,
Like
I had
me
to
and Jeb
save this
won't go
man so
revive
many
him.
times.
Like
He
we won't
falling
go
off the
revive his
map.
ass.
He jumping in dude's face and getting fucked up. Just a lot of shit that I had to save this man from. But that's beside the point. My point is, I so far have enjoyed Destiny 2 as someone who played through Destiny. I believe it's an improvement.
I do too.
I would recommend it, but then again, I didn't pay $60 for it. I traded a bunch of games to get it. And it was games I didn't care about, so I'm happy either way.
Yeah, just like all I did was profit.
Pretty much, but if they keep up their the schedule for the strikes and raids, I mean, one argument that people can't make is you don't have shit to do, because they're dropping new strikes every week, I believe, and new raids.
That's been confirmed.
But the question is, every Tuesday is the game going to be down for 6 hours? That's a serious question, though. I'm not even throwing shade. I'm legitimately asking.
I don't
believe
they
it
get
is.
better with that.
It's
I hope
probably
they
not
get better
gonna
with
be.
that.
It's probably not gonna
It's
be.
probably not.
But it's. Niggas, where are we at in 2017 when it comes to the game? Because they just be releasing shit that obviously ain't done. Like, y'all niggas had. How long has Destiny been announced for the fall 2017? And y'all can include that shit in already.
I feel you. I guess they kind of tried to have it go along with the whole grinding thing, because you have like you got your daily shit you gotta do, and then you got weekly shit that updates every week. And I guess it was kind of like in the same. Yeah, I think it was in the same vein as that.
Try to add life to the game.
It's hey, we're gonna like keep developing things for this game while you guys are playing it. That way we can get, I don't know, maybe they'll get live feedback from gamers about things. I don't fucking know. I ain't a developer.
I mean, that's cool and it's a good idea and all, but you can't be, your servers can't be down for like 6 hours at a time every time.
Every week. That's not the wave.
If it is, I'd be highly upset. I don't think it's gonna be like that, but I don't know yet. Obviously, I'm a god. I can't see the future, but I mean, I'm having fun with what I got so far, so I'm chilling either way.
I keep missing these dudes. Holy shit.
This one dude is in full fucking ass body armor.
Guy down over here.
Shit, gotta strap up, bro.
Shit! Get out of there!
I threw 3 grenades at this man. He did not die. What the hell? God damn it. But did anyone have anything else they wanted to talk about? Any, final notes? Any other topics?
Shit, I'm deeply immersed into this scene right now, or this fight scene. Oh my god, don't kill me. I'm dead.
I actually did want to have something, Shakisi. You wasn't on the topics or nothing like that, just when you had something to add. But, I don't know. November gonna be lit. Like, I'm trying to tell you.
That good
Oh,
content
yeah.
coming out.
There's a lot of things going on.
COD, I get Thor, and I get my Punisher on Netflix. So, and it's my birthday, so turn up.
Hey.
Julian
Like,
said a lot of good things coming my way. I feel you.
I feel you.
yeah, like,
You can keep the Call of Duty though. I didn't like World
Yeah.
War II.
I don't know about all that now. We on 2 different levels then, Jack. You already know that. Child plays
Hey,
on
I'm with you
so
on
that's the
Destiny
important
2.
thing.
I am
That's-
not with you
that's-
on World War II. I didn't enjoy it, me personally. But I understand how someone could enjoy it.
Yeah. But it's the same thing with Destiny 1. Like, I put time and energy into Call of Duty, so I'm gonna, even if they are alternate. But I just wanted to add that little note in.
Oh yeah, November's gonna be pretty lit.
I'm happy November's gonna be the turn up for you.
Thank you.
Oh shit.
Hey,
Shit, I
yo,
need some of that. I need some of that good luck, library.
Our next gen needs to see it.
Say hello to my very large friend. Someone.
Alright, I'm gonna do some run out, kill what people. Kill. Need the first and just rinse and repeat.
All clear.
And hopefully beat the stage.
Gotta find a way out of here.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I'm this young shotgun, you know. But that's it for the stream this week, you guys. You know, of course, appreciate our young guests for coming in, chilling with the scrubs.
Anytime, man.
You know, Jordan Ninja Knight. He doesn't want any more friends. Melly's
Yes.
art on what is it? The Insta of Grams, I believe.
Insta of grabs.
And
My voice.
and then we have our young god on the scene, Jod, bringing in the hits, the bangers, and anything else I did not mention.
Hey,
And yeah, we've done our random shout out for the week.
If you don't
And
remember, it's iCrawler.
indeed, Dan Schneider. If it's not Dan, it's a Schneider still. It's still the shout out is still there. And then we got T Hill, Mo. You guys can exit yourselves if you would like.
Back to it.
We here every week, bro. Tuesdays, Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What else did I say?
That was a good plug.
Ah, let's see how this goes.
And that's it. We're out. We'll see you guys again Thursday.
Peace.